Welcome back to our second series, Corp versus UCAM. Before we jump onto that, I just have to turn to you guys. BTXL1, how do you feel?
I mean, come on. Complaining, this is great, this is great. I mean, I got a prediction as well, 2-1, nothing to complain about.
Sure, yeah, the day's going well so far for you. Let's see if it goes well for me too in the second half of the day, and maybe we can have this NLC versus LFL matchup in finals at the end of the day. But for now, let's talk about the teams we're going to see in this best-of-3 series. UCAM first, the Spain representative, the first seed actually, a team composed of a lot of rookies. What did we get from them so far?
Honestly, 3 rookies coming in that far, undefeated, 8-0. The semifinals are honestly so evenly matched, right? Because the Mouse versus BTXL, they were both 5-4. Now, Corp is coming in 8-1, and UCAM is coming in as 8-0. Yeah. So if you look at the levels of strength that they're coming in, these guys, undefeated, should technically be the favorites here. But all I'm looking at when I see UCAM is this guy in the top lane, Dreedy. He has absolutely grown into a monster ever since we saw him last split into the NLC. He's a whole different person. He will pick aggressive picks. He will run down his opponents. But the key here is that if this guy does really well in the top lane, UCAM actually blooms.
Yeah, and it's not only just about that. I've been loving Plasma, the picks like Thresh, like the Rakan, where he's out there to enable his teammate. We've seen him enable Baca, who's then in turn enabled the top side that you're talking about, Trouble. And I think it's the different styles of play that they can bring out as well. They do so well because they do it straight from the early game as well, and they're so good at facilitating each other. It's
going to be an interesting matchup, especially against Corp, who are a good team in the early game as well. And you were talking about the matchup top lane. I guess this one is going to have also an interesting competition against Adam here. I want to say Corp played to the expectations we had from them, actually. There's nothing different from what we've seen in the LFL, but I mean, did they reach their final form here, Galberg?
I mean, I've been very impressed by Corp, and I've been voting them up to this point just to get to know this team. And I've got to say, they look like the strongest team to me, and they look like they keep expanding what they can do together. So to me, right here, this is the clear favorites that we're looking at.
You asked if they've reached their final form. Absolutely freaking not. There's no way these madmen pull Olafs and Dariuses in the top lane for Adam, and they have nothing in store for the semis and possibly the finals, because they are coming in as the crowd favorite. So my eyes again for Corp will have to fall onto Adam. It's the rookie versus rookie matchup. Adam, though, no one has been able to put him on a leash. I think the only time we saw Adam fall behind in lane was in the series against Sapa, where Clowny played the Jace. So that was a very specific matchup that he ever lost in the EU Masters. But at the end of the day, if the rest of your team does well and you lose, you're still fine with it.
There's Adam, who's doing a mad job on the top lane, but we also need to talk about Targamas, the insane support from Corp and how he's roamed. Just play for his team. Galberg, maybe you want to break down this.
Yeah, I do really want to break it down, because we talk a lot about that top side of the map, but I think it's the whole unit of Corp, the way they're moving around with pressure in lanes like no other team have done so far. And I kind of need to find a clip real quick first, and there we have it. So let's just start rolling up. We're in a situation here where they've gotten a kill already and they've crashed the bot side of the map. So with this pressure, what are they going to be doing? Well, actually, first let me explain. To newer viewers, if you're not too confident about it, if you have a crash, you can see it here on the minimap, meaning you push down the bottom tower here, the minions will start stacking, and that will create a slow push, which would mean, once, Matty can just farm back safely at his tower, and 2, Targamas can go out on the map and start roaming. So as we continue that clip here, we're going to be seeing that Matty moving back on the minimap, but Targamas, he's already moved together with Cinkrof into the enemy jungling, counter jungling, getting the red buff, getting the kill stun, and then that is already a huge early game lead. But we're not done there. There is more to fight for on the map if you are Corp, and let's pause it right here, just to take a look at where we are with that minimap. So you can see Matty, once again, still all the way back. The minion wave is going to be pushing up towards him, but Targamas, he's going to be moving up towards the top side, towards the Scuttle. And you can see already on the map, Saken's up here already, fight has begun, but Targamas once again, he is here. And once again, pay attention to xMatty. I know everything's happening on the map right here, but xMatty's still farming safely. They're getting kills, man advantages. And keep in mind, this is 4 minutes into the game when this is happening. That's 2 kills onto Saken. He's going to be moving up. He's going to get the 3rd one. So just by a 3rd wave crashing in the bot side, Corp is making that work to a kill in the jungle, to 3 kills on the top side of the map for Saken, and by that point, they've already taken over the game. So, I hope you got to know Corp a little bit here. If you want to throw in your prediction as well, you can join our Discord community where you can share your prediction if you follow the link, Discord EU Masters. And with that, I hope you are ready, because we are going to be throwing this one onto our casters to our last semi-final of this European Masters.
Thank you very much, Gulborg. Fantastic shirt as always. Hello, my name is Hitbrain and I am joined by Orcs. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little tense just after that first series. That was a bit of a close one, especially as obviously we're fans of BTXL, but I'm hyped for this one. I mean, I think UCAM have had such a strong performance throughout EU Masters, but Corp came in. For me, they were heavy favorites initially. For a lot of people, they were heavy favorites. I expect them to come in favorites of this series, but UCAM, I'm looking to see what they can answer with.
This is the Super League's first seed versus the LFL's first seed. Karmine Corp are the team that has been heavily bigged up by a lot of fans here coming into this tournament. It's time for them to put up versus another strong region, an undefeated UCAM so far here in the European Masters. We're into picks and bans. Have a look at what's been taken away. So the Rise and the Seraphine on the side of UCAM. Corp have taken away that Gnar.
Yeah, UCAM have a 100% ban rate on Seraphine. Doesn't matter which side they're on. They are always just banning it away, so kind of expected there. And then looking to thin away some of the pressure. Thresh, a big one that Corp like to deny, and Plasma's been putting a lot of priority on it, so again, makes more sense here. Renekton coming in, often something that Adam does like to lean on. We saw Romy have a monstrous series earlier, and with the Gnar ban, it kind of suggests something that doesn't have a great answer left available.
Well, we do see the 2 junglers that we have seen so much priority put on are left open. There is going to be the Hecarim. Kind of feel like Cinkrof will probably just run into that Udyr. It's going to be the Jinx, though, pick up for the side of xMatty. And there's the Udyr for Cinkrof. So pretty solid rotation, first of all, for both of these teams. We'll see what the answer is. UCAM are firing out these picks very, very quick as they lock in the Rakan and the Ezreal for themselves.
Yeah, so I'm not a massive fan of this, in all honesty. I mean, the Hecarim makes complete sense for UCAM, but the concern when seeing the Ezreal Rakan is it suggests they're going to have a bit of a weak side bot lane. I don't think that's a good strategy against Corp because they are fine with just letting xMatty farm up on the Jinx, as we saw Gulborg talking about, and they'll roam Targamas to the rest of the map. You're now going to have a situation where you got an Udyr who's going to be able to farm a Storm up above the Hecarim. You have the TwistedFate who's going to be able to move around and roam, especially if Targamas frees them up. I think this plays into exactly Corp's game plan.
Well, we'll see what the bans are going to be now, as expect to see KC kind of ban away things that can kind of deal with the TwistedFate. I'm expecting to see a Sylas ban. That's typically picked into TwistedFate because you can match your own by sealing away the Destiny. Over on the side of UCAM, probably going to see some attention put towards that support role. Try and ban things away, which will either kind of enable xMatty by engaging for him or keeping him safe. See what their ban's going to be. Things like the Nautilus has been left open. We did see people pick that up earlier on in the day. It's just going to be the Darius tonight away from Adam. So a little bit of attention towards their star top laner.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this situation, if you are playing the weak side bot for UCAM, you need something that can provide, that can allow Dreedy to take over the game. Often a player likes to pick up things like the Camille. So I think denying picks that can cause problems in the laning phase, like the Darius, potentially even the Olaf, which is something Adam has as a pocket pick, is probably a good idea. Karmine Corp, though, you ban away the Victor, something that Baca's comfortable on, can get priority. You ban away the Akali, a threat to TF, and actually something that can follow him if you land the Shuriken. And then I think after this ban phase, you can take your support, give Targamas something that roams well, and then you have top lane counter picks, so you're in a pretty good spot.
All right, well, that's going to be the Olaf taken away from the side of, well, you can deny that from KC, and we'll see what KC want to pick up here. I'm expecting to see them pick up their support and then lock in a top lane as a counter for Adam. It's going to be the Galio in a support there for Targamas.
Yeah, and so this is something...
What's the answer?
This is something that has a lot of roaming potential, but is also specifically good into Rakan. It was a really strong counter to him because it's very easy when he dashes in to land that taunt and follow up. It makes it hard for him to look for engages, and also it potentially suggests that, you know, if there was something like the Camille coming out, which I know Dreedy likes to play, the Galio works well as a counter, because when you obviously use the Hextech Ultimatum, the Galio can just ult on top. You're going to get knocked up almost guaranteed unless you disengage.
It does look like it is going to be the Aatrox pickup here for Dreedy. So he's throwing the gauntlet down a little bit in the top lane. Now obviously looking for the mid lane for UCAM. We could see a Sylas, realistically. You can steal away that Destiny. Is normally picked up into TwistedFate, and that's what Baca's going to take. So I think you might be right in potentially seeing something like a Camille for Adam, as it has been left open. Syncs up really well with what KC have put together. It might just be what they need to unlock the rest of this comp.
I mean, I feel like you have a lot of options in the situation for K-Corp. It really depends, because I feel like you can comfortably just play around the bot side, but it looks like they are going to commit for that Camille. And it means they have the really strong combo. They have so much map presence. They have a great scaling AD carry. I feel like K-Corp have come out ahead on this one. UCAM still have a lot of team fighting power, but we've seen K-Corp run away with games. And even in the loss against Sup-Up, the reason they lost was because their bot lane couldn't get enabled. xMatty fell really far behind. And then from there, the pressure spread out. But here, K-Corp have the early agency. They should have the success in the bot lane, and then as they start to free components of their team up, it'll enable the others. You free Targamas up, he can apply pressure mid. You free Saken up, it allows Cinkrof to take over the map and then start to apply pressure towards the top side if you want Adam to get ahead, the bot side if you want xMatty to get ahead. This is going to be K-Corp starting from minute 1, whereas UCAM, they don't have as many early tools. I feel like they need to weather the storm a bit more, but when it does come to team fighting, they do have strong assets there.
So is there a particular player or champion on the side of UCAM that we want to be tracking in these kind of earlier stages? Because like you said, Karmine Corp do have that agency in the early game. What are UCAM playing for in these earlier stages? Where are they looking to at least, you know, deny or get ahead?
I think if UCAM can try and maintain some priority mid on Baca, that's really important. I think really it's looking at how Hadess pats and whether he can avoid being pressured. If he gets shut down early, I feel like UCAM's comp starts to fall apart. But if you can weather the storm, if you can get to level 6, get that ultimate available, that's when they can start making more proactive plays, especially as Plasma and Hadess love to pair up together. Those two are a really strong engage combo, and I expect any plays they make to come from there. You can see their kill participation both really high. It's really about this jungle support duo if anything's going to happen for UCAM.
Moving around the map, enabling, and you know you've got a Rakan, a very slippery champion that can kind of make these picks happen. So solid pickup here for Plasma. Double cleanse in the bot lane on the side of UCAM, paying a lot of respect to Targamas' taunt. And obviously the gold card from Saken and the best. Like, there's a lot of CC. I totally understand why they both got that cleanse. Obviously does mean they're kind of lacking in any kind of combat summoners in the sense of there's no ignite, no exhaust, no heals. Well, xMatty and Targamas got the ignite, they've got the heal. So, you know, if a 2v2 breaks out, do expect to see KC pull ahead.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that this is very much going to be a defensive lane for UCAM's bot side. And the thing is, I feel like Hadess can potentially look for plays on the top side of the map, but it's so scary. If Cinkrof challenges you, if he finds an opportunity to take you in a fight, he is going to outperform you. And the thing is, the reason why we see this match up, particularly in EU Masters, is because the Udyr is just a bit faster at clearing than the Hecarim, but also in those early skirmishes, you just completely beat him out. Especially since the nerfs to Hecarim's Q, actually, the speed difference is pretty significant. And if Cinkrof does find Hadess pre-6, he doesn't have a flash, he doesn't have the ultimate to get away, he can definitely just look to kill him or at least force him out the jungle.
For now, it is just going to be the red buff, and Hadess then bolts up towards the top side of his map, so not matching a full clear like Cinkrof will be doing on the Udyr. So see what that kind of spells for Hadess, what the game plan will be. Whether or not he just wants to clear his top side and then just go to that bot lane crab as soon as possible.
I just really like the play because, I mean, you know where Cinkrof has started. You want to try and avoid him. So this path will leave him leaning towards the bot side of the map, which puts you in a more comfortable spot. You don't have to contest the Udyr. And critically, by securing both your buffs early on, Cinkrof doesn't get as much value from invading. If you went for your standard full clear and then you got met at your blue by Cinkrof, that's where you can really be in trouble. But now, Hadess already has his 2 buffs, and he's moving to the opposite side of the map, so I don't expect to see Cinkrof able to challenge him. So I like the pathing from Hadess is a good start.
Just avoiding Cinkrof, who has already almost finished this full clear. He's only got that Krugs left after this red buff falls down, so good tempo here for Cinkrof in the earlier game as Targamas and xMatty are the ones feeling a bit of pressure in this bottom side of the map as they are getting shoved in. They know that their jungler is playing on the top side right now, so maybe just paying a little bit of respect to UCAM as they're not entirely sure where Hadess is. And he is on the bottom side for the moment.
Yeah, I think things get a bit scarier for Rafitta and Plasma once level 3 is hit. As then Targamas and xMatty have a pretty strong CC chain. Obviously, there is the cleanse, but you don't want to have to burn that at just a simple engage coming out from the side of K-Corp. For now, though, they can use the sort of pushing power of the level 1, the harass they have, and that priority means that Hadess can comfortably pick up the scuttles. So far, good start for UCAM. They've managed to avoid that early pressure. I do have some concerns, though, just about this matchup between Dreedy and Adam, because, you know, if Camille's already doing well in the laning phase, it's not a good omen. And actually,
Adam has been a superstar top laner for KC. You can see the difference between these two top laners at 15 minutes. Adam averages 753 gold at 15 up. He averages 290 experience up over his lane. And the CS deficit is 6.2 on average. So versus Dreedy, whose stats are, you know, not as impressive. Really, really solid stuff. As there is a bit of action breaking out in the bot lane, but Plasma's pretty slippery on that Rakan. Same for Rafitta on the Ezreal.
Yeah, and I think a big thing is when you look at stats of players within EU Masters, you can go, well, yeah, this person's stats might be better or worse because of how their team is done. UCAM are undefeated, though. So they've won every single game, and Dreedy still has far worse stats than Adam. And it just kind of shows that he really kind of gets left alone at times. He doesn't do maybe as well in the laning phase. He does come back to be a force to be reckoned with later on, but he doesn't get too much attention, and that can be costly, especially if you're up against a Camille, something that scales so well and is going to be a thorn in the side of UCAM later on. Might not be the best game plan.
So we'll keep our eyes on top lane. We'll have a double check at 15 and see kind of where we are roughly. At that point, we can kind of measure whether or not Adam is kind of playing towards his normal play style. For the moment, he is up in CS, is going to be up in gold. He has got a fairly large wave crashing towards Dreedy. Cinkrof not spotted out by Baca, as Baca moving up. He will spot him on the tri-brush, and he's in bear stances. Adam and Dreedy taking a fight. Adam might just find himself first blood. Going to force the flash out from Dreedy. The bear stance lands onto Baca, a big Kingslayer heal. It's Baca slowly but surely getting cooked by Cinkrof, who's going to go for the flash over the wall, but the blast cone will stop him. And Baca survives. UCAM's top and mid just burnt so low.
Yeah, I mean, Baca manages to get out, and Dreedy, I was feeling maybe Adam would go for the flash kill there, but ends up not going for it. But ultimately, it's still a huge play for K-Corp. They managed to get summoners in the top lane and the mid laner. They forced them off. And Baca wasting so much time with their roam. The critical thing there is they didn't have a jungler to connect with them. Really, if Hadess had been there to assist, it may have gone more favorably. But the problem is, Hadess doesn't really want to be fighting at this point. We've already talked about that. He wants to farm up to level 6 point. And now you look at the other side, Saken's hit level 6. He has that ultimate destiny available. If he wants to join in on these plays, he can do so very easily. And we imagine that play that just happened, if Saken had joined in, that would have been 2 kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Karmine Corp are now leaning towards the bottom side of the map with their jungle at the least. Might look to start up this dragon. They do have that bot lane priority, and Hadess is in the area, but there isn't really any vision, so they're not entirely sure if Cinkrof is doing it. And he's cooking through this Cloud Drake nice and quickly on that Udyr.
Yeah, at this point, you got priority in bot lane. The Galio and the Jinx doing pretty well now. Saken was obviously able to be in lane sooner. Baca just TPing in, shoves it in, and pretty easy first dragon pickup from the side of K-Corp. So, solid start. We need to see that pressure coming out early. If you're picking the Udyr, that's how you want to play the matchup. You want to be pulling ahead. And I think Cinkrof's done fine. Hadess still looking to secure that level 6, though, and managing okay. You know, I feel like if you haven't been invaded, you haven't been killed, it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah, he is actually going for an invade himself, and we'll be able to take away this chicken camp. Wasn't spotted out by Targamas or Saken. I think Saken saw him just at the tail end of the campers. Targamas is actually just bolted up towards the top lane. Adam has himself the Hextech ultimatum, and here's the Destiny. They're just going to layer everything in to catch Dreedy out. Dreedy not even able to move as the gold card will connect, and this will be first blood to Adam.
Yeah, you've seen a little bit why the stats for Adam was so favorable. Obviously, incredibly skilled player, but K-Corp definitely give him a helping hand, and Targamas goes for a long roam up towards top side. Saken joins, and look at how they move Matty as well. So they're not even missing far mid. Oh, could be in a bit of trouble, but does just manage to navigate it with Targamas there to cover. But yeah, it's just beautiful play. You run the support top, AD carry goes to cover mid, and then the TP comes out from Saken to catch that bot wave. So K-Corp have missed nothing in this situation. They haven't lost anything. UCAM haven't responded in any way. They just get a free kill, and it's onto their Camille.
I'll be very happy with that one, as Hadess has spied out the red buff on spawn, but Might need to be a little bit careful. There is a Galio in the mid lane, so can join into this action really quickly. Cinkrof not really any wiser right now, but his red buff has been started. Although now, will spot Hadess out, has the bear slap, has the bear stance, and he might just be bringing in a couple of members. Cinkrof isn't going to be able to pick up his red buff as he's being chased down. Hadess able to steal away quite a bit there from Cinkrof. Yeah, Hadess feeling confident. He has that level 6 ult now. He's able to disengage if he needs to. And because K-Corp were reacting to their previous play, Saken was moving bot side, they were rotating to get back to where they want to be on the map. It meant that there was a little bit of downtime where Plasma and Baca were able to find priority and be there to assist if needed. So UCAM able to steal away that red as a result of this, but now K-Corp looking to secure that Herald. Does seem like pings are coming out. Looks like a contest is looking to come and K-Corp reacting. Yeah, they got themselves the knock up onto Cinkrof, but with Saken making his way through, shuffling through those cards, it's a little bit harder to get in on this action. xMatty does have his ultimate if he needs to throw in for a bit of additional help for the team. Here comes Hadess. He's just going to charge for a couple of members. The flash comes out and the Galio ult stolen away by Baca is going to get fired off as KC being routed out of their own jungle. Targamas trying to jump in as the rocket only lands onto 2. Adam can come over the wall though. That's 1 picked up by Hadess, and UCAM just find himself a bit of a free kill. Casey kind of caught sleeping a little bit. Yeah, I mean, they kind of just went for the Herald a little bit disrespectful. UCAM are willing to challenge them. Hadess with that level 6 ultimate, great engaging, and the follow-up is there as well. This is the strength of the composition of UCAM. Their dive is really solid, and they have so much team fight engage potential, and it was just easy to execute. Good play coming out from them. But they don't actually end up translating to the Herald, though. Yeah, that was I was about to say. Good news is no one took the Herald, so if you're KC, sure, you lost a member. xMatty's getting a lot of solo farm and time in the bot lane, and he needs it because he is down in gold and down in CS. So I'd like to have a look at the individual golds right now, just kind of judge where we are with all of the players. You can see that Adam is up in lane over Dreedy, almost 1,000 gold, very close to that at the moment. Bot lane, there is a slight gap opening up, but it's only 300 for Rafitta. Yeah, it did get closed quite a bit as Maddie was able to pick up that plate and a fair bit of farm there. But overall, teams pretty even. Slight advantage for K-Corp overall, but it's not really too big of a thing. And in honesty, I feel like that kind of favors UCAM so far, just because there was that big concern about the early game. There was that big concern that Cinkrof could run away with the matchup. And so far, Hadess has kept even and managed to keep himself well in this Hecarim. I think this is the thing, though. When you look at UCAM, is everybody had really high expectations for KC. They've been heavily bigged up. If you've been on social media at all, you would have seen the blue wall spam in any comment section. French, then you'll have seen. Very passionate fans, very passionate fans. But UCAM, remember, undefeated, and they're looking to jump in onto Dreedy. Adam's just going to get more resources funneled into him as Saken secures the kill. And again, just securing gold advantages for Adam. Does end up going over to Saken, but they are really punishing Dreedy, and we're starting to see an advantage be built up. It's going to become more problematic as the game goes on. Camille will become a monster. Averaging that's 753 gold lead at 15 minutes as we are getting closer and closer. And every little bit of kill, every wave you shove in and deny helps towards that for Adam. But it's just K-Corp playing their comp how they should be, leaning towards that top side, and it's kind of how we described it initially go on. We saw Targamas make some movements up towards the top side. When there was pressure achieved for Saken, he's able to move and able to lean into Adam and get him a lead. Now, Cinkrof did look to stop that dragon, but is called out on it. UCAM are happy to take these grouped instances. This is the thing, when you're facing a composition with so many globals, you want to be grouped up as 5 because then the globals lose value. Destiny isn't as threatening when everyone's together, so UCAM are happy to force in on these situations, and we'll look to pick up this dragon with no real contest. Now, it is just the first dragon for them. It is just going to equalize K-Corp, so it's not too much of a concern, but it does sort of slow down any soul win condition that could come out. And in return, K-Corp are going to pick up that Herald, which can end up having a much bigger impact if you are able to take that first tower. Yeah, it's a trade across the map, and KC, like you said, able to secure that early dragon. Means that they're going to be pretty happy with this one. As Cinkrof, you need to pick up the eye, mate. The eye. There we go, working towards it. He's got it, but he might be in a little bit of trouble, although looks like Baca and Dreedy are going to back off, and Cinkrof able to pick this one up. I'd actually really like to see them throw this turret down in the top lane, as now they're actually jumping into xMatty. xMatty's just going to take a little bit of poke as Saken's getting jumped onto by everybody, and he will lose his life as Baca secures the kill. UCAM firing in the mid lane. Yeah, not sure what happened with Matty there. I think he was just maybe looking at the rest of the map when he sort of walked up, but
Saken caught out in this situation, and again, you punish the globals by targeting the people who are looking to roam. No one's going to come and assist with the global ultimate other than potentially Targamas, but one, it wasn't available. Two, they knew where he was, so Saken an easy punish on that TwistedFate.
Adam's going to go to base, get himself his Trinity Force finished up. There is now an Everfrost finished up onto Saken. Though Baca should be getting fairly close towards his Everfrost as well. Saken use that teleport, but he does have the Destiny. So again, I feel like with this Rift Herald, I want to see it go towards the top lane. I want to see them continue to unlock Adam. Because not only is he going to be useful in the team fights with his ultimate, he also does have that split push pressure, that real threat. It looks like Cinkrof looking to play towards this top side. He's just going to place the Herald down to spot out some of this vision, and Adam going to crash the wave in. Dreedy not really going to be here in time to catch the wave before it crashes, so it's going to be a bunch of plates picked up here, and with this Triforce onto Adam, this could actually be the tower going low, if not down here. Looks like it's just going to be that, though, is Dreedy able to get through and clear out the wave. Yeah, the response is there, and critically, UCAM are moving up enough members, so you can't really overcommit. The critical thing is they throw down the Herald before the place fades. They get that extra gold. I think that's why you saw Cinkrof ditching the red and running straight over, like, oh, I've still got this Herald. We want the plates. We don't want to miss out on that timer. But it does mean they're about 1,000 gold ahead, and a lot of that lead is going to be in that top lane. But UCAM looking to try and force out on the bot side of the jungle. They should just be able to steal away this blue pretty easily. Yeah, there's no one really here to contest it. xMatty will have to back away from his tower, which is already low, as Targamas is going to get jumped onto, and the blue buff was taken away. I didn't see who picked it up. I think it was Baca. It was Baca. Our skin is blue, so it's hard to tell when you can see the circle around him. Yeah, but with this heavy lean towards the boss side from UCAM, it's once again leaving the top side vulnerable. And you saw Saken and Cinkrof start to move up towards there, and Dreedy just has to back away, and that's going to give him the first tower. So a positive trade for Corp once again. Blue for towers. Weird. They're looking bot. Yeah, they're going to jump and throw everything onto xMatty. He stopwatches away. Everybody else is coming in, and Baca's just locked down. Gets himself a Kingslayer off. xMatty's low. Baca's able to secure the kill. And KC lose their AD carry and back off as UCAM secure themselves their first turret in the bot lane. Oh, Rafitta looking. TP comes in now, though, from Adam. Yeah, there's teleport coming in as well from Dreedy, looking to join up as Adam jumps in onto Rafitta. They've got the follow-up. Galio wants to lock onto a couple of members, and here is the taunt to follow as well. Adam ripping through the health bars of the UCAM members, as that's a kill for Targamas. Hades will fire back with a kill onto him in response, but there's a gold card, there's an Everfrost, and there's just too much CC. The pony is locked down for absolutely ever, as Cinkrof secures another kill. Casey come out on top. Yeah, overall ends up being a 4 for 2 in favor of Corp. So honestly, just an overcommit from UCAM. They had a successful play. They got the tower. They got a kill. They could have backed off, but you can see the moment. And watch Rafitta here. You can tell exactly when Corp make the decision that they're going to respond, because they're trying to answer back here. They realize they're not winning the fight. They're backing away. And then it's when Rafitta, Arcane ships in. It's that exact moment where he looks to try and kill Targamas here that the TP starts channeling. They know he's overcommitted. They know they can take him, and that's when they're able to chase him down. And just while we're looking through that replay, Adam able to use that pressure to get bot lane tower. So even more gold funneled up this Camille, who's just going to be monster ahead at this point. And we're past that 15-minute mark, so let's take a little look at the gold between Dreedy and Adam. If we could toggle that and just see where he is up in this lane. Remember, he averages 753 gold up at 15 minutes. We're a little bit beyond that, and he did get himself a tower, but in any moment now we can have a look at that and see exactly where Adam is over Dreedy right now, because he has a pretty significant lead. 203 to 031. Yeah, it's a pretty big gap. And the thing is, the Camille, compared to some other picks, is still, despite being a strong split pusher, really powerful in these team fights, especially against things like the Ezreal, the Sylas, the Rakan, these very mobile champions who are quite slippery. The lockdown is so effective, and the fact you have the Galio to assist means it's very hard to sort of evade the threat of the Camille when it comes to these team fights. It's still UCAM who I'd say have the edge in terms of their tools, but there's definitely windows. Now, both teams posturing for this dragon would be the second to either take it, but critically, you can see Adam is positioning himself on this flank on the bot side. He's ready to come in from behind if needed. Yeah, he doesn't have teleports, so he will have to walk up. You can see on the mini-map now, he's slowly making his way over towards this dragon. The Destiny's actually been used by Baca. They think they found Targamas. He just flashes away. Destiny's going to get fired out towards Adam. Follow-up Destiny's going to come in by Saken. Both Destiny's down now at this point, and UCAM have got themselves a foothold on the river, as KC are going to have to try and fight their way tooth and nail forwards, and the Dragon's already been started up. Saken getting the gold card ready, so the charge comes down. Dreedy has popped himself the ultimate. Cinkrof is going to go low. Adam jumps into the middle of the fight, uses the Hectech ultimatum. So much damage has been put down into Plasma, but nobody's died yet as the gold card connects onto Baca. The Everfrost goes a little bit wide, and he jumps back in. Now Targamas jumps forward, looking for the taunt onto 3 members. xMatty is unleashed as he's just firing away onto the back line. It's a double kill picked up for Saken. And UCAM, they lose 2.
Looks like they're still trying to potentially contest this one. Low health bars on K-Corp, but it's the same for both sides. And I think they're kind of accepting maybe they have to piece out of this one. I don't think you can take this. It's only second dragon. There's no massive need. And K-Corp just going to be able to pick up that dragon and back away with the team fight win. Honestly, it was a good start from UCAM. The fact that Baca used the Destiny to spot out Adam and stop the threat of the flank, but the engage came in through either way, and just so much was done by Adam on the initial engage with that ult to disrupt. We're going to see the replay here. So initially, the engage from UCAM is looking for Matty, and it's a perfect flash over the wall. Means he gets no follow-up, but then no one's there to really do anything. And then this re-engage, Adam gets a ton of damage down here. Great ult to disrupt, and this is when Matty starts ramping up. It's Saken and Adam getting the health bars low, getting some damage down, and it means Matty starts to get resets at this point. He's able to get the AoE damage, and UCAM know at this point they just can't continue the fight. And honestly, I could have seen that going much more in favor of K-Corp. A lot of low health bars on UCAM.
That was honestly, I think UCAM can walk away happy with the only lost 2 and a dragon. That could have been an ace and a dragon. That could have been so much worse. Nobody's going to take this final rift out, as it will be despawning relatively soon. So that'll be coming off the map, and Baron will be on. As let's take stock of the items right now, because a Lichbane was literally just finished up for Saken. He's got himself that Everfrost as well. It's 2 items onto Matty. He's had the Kraken Slayer finish for a little while, as well as Adam, who's had his Trinity Force finished up for a little bit, but early on in the game did detour into the Executioner's Calling to kind of heal Dreedy's sustain.
The thing is, it's kind of getting to the point where you start to be a bit concerned about the 1-3-1 threat. Because obviously there's the roaming pressure of Saken, he has TP, he has Destiny, he's always happy to be in a side lane. But right now they're sending Baca up against Adam, and that's not really a great matchup. Because it's just going to get to the point where Adam's able to... Oh, we've seen an engage come in.
They got the Destiny. They're also jumping onto Matty, who's completely isolated, but he does have the backup of a Galio to keep him alive, as Hadess can't find a kill onto Matty, and they get themselves a turnaround kill. Cinkrof able to kite away as well, as here comes Adam over the wall, gets himself a stun into the Zac, followed up by xMatty. Super Mega Death Rocket only hits 1. Plasma's health bar is so low, and the taunt is there. Adam's able to survive. Matty secures the kill, and it's another 2 for KC.
Really disjointed engage coming in from UCAM there. Hadess trying to solo out the AD carry pretty much, and critically Targamas with the ultimate, the magic damage shield keeping Matty healthy enough, and they're able to reply. Adam coming in with a clutch re-engage, but it's just things going more and more in K-Corp's favor, and I feel like as the game goes on, you have a Jinx, you have a Camille, it's not looking good for the side of UCAM. Already at a 4,500 gold deficit. I'll get the replay, so K-Corp happy to take the fight on this side. And my confusion is Hadess is going in. He doesn't really have to follow up. Doesn't really get Matty low there. And instantly Targamas flies in to try and assist. On the other side, we do see UCAM finding a bit of favor. But as soon as they have the numbers advantage, K-Corp know they can re-engage. And again, Matty, beautiful position over the wall, can't be threatened. And at this point, it's just cleaning up.
Matty is honestly positioned really well on the Jinx in these last few fights, getting a lot thrown at him, and every time just about being able to get out and survive. So he is holding the mid-wave tower for the moment. Nobody really has any threat on either tower. Both teams are leaning on different sides, though, as KC kind of playing a little bit more towards the bottom side, where Adam is split pushing, and Dreedy off on the other, as Targamas is going to look for a taunt. Not going to be able to find it, however.
Yeah, still hard to pin down this bot lane. Both of them got cleanse and flash as well, so we're really going to find too much, but posing that threat. And the big thing you can see is that Cinkrof and Targamas are leaning towards his bot side. They're trying to get vision, they're trying to provide control, and it means that Adam is able to push in deeper. If he crashes a wave, he can then rotate up to assist, but they're lucky.
Matty has no flash, he's already feared up, he's going to get locked down, and that's just the end of Matty. Rafitta secures the kill. Here comes the teleports, here comes the turnaround, though, as KC have brought everybody, but they don't have the damage, they don't have Matty. The Everfrost will lock down a couple of members, but there's just no follow-up, as Baca joins into the fray. UCAM find the kill 50 seconds before the dragon spawns.
Yeah, so xMatty will be up for the dragon, but a much better engage from UCAM. The team was there to follow up. xMatty still with no flash available. Just strong execution here, and yeah, it's hard to deal with the Hecarim in this situation. The follow-up is there from everyone. And the big thing here is 2 TPs burned from the side of K-Corp for essentially nothing. You can see instantly they know they're not taking this fight, they're disengaging. But already having committed those long cooldowns is rough. So putting UCAM in a good spot, they will be able to get a reset with this time, get back on the map, and look to get control of this dragon area.
Cinkrof has found Baca. He has got Dreedy coming in, so he's buying time, but Baca does a lot of damage. Kingslayer heals there, and Cinkrof not willing to risk his health bar any more than that. So the dragon does spawn. This will be the third one for Karmine Corp, and the second one for UCAM, if they're able to pick it up. Matty does now have that flash available, so a little bit harder to find that punish, as Hadess' ultimate is still on cooldown for a little bit longer, as the taunt's coming in from the Galio, but Targamas not able to find it. It looks like the fight's already starting to break out, as the teleport is going to get used by Dreedy, who joins up with his team.
Gotta watch xMatty in these situations. He is the big carry in the backline for K-Corp. UCAM are going to be trying to dive in and get on top. They have the ultimate from Hadess just coming available now. They have the quickness from the Rakan, and they will fish for that opportunity.
Well, here comes Adam, jumps in, he's caught Rafitta already, they've got the ultis, they've got the destiny. It's an absolutely sloppy and messy team fight, but Matty just flashes Adam Vision into the bush, and he is free firing away. UCAM are just being run down by Karmine Corp. Hadess slowed by the zap, Adam's making his way forward, and Hadess, one last rocket will secure it, as Adam gets himself a double kill. Only Plasma survives, and this is the third dragon for the side of KC, as they are just bolting towards that Baron. Can Plasma do this? He's looking for the Gleaming Quill. He's going to jump over the wall. Can't quite find it. That is the dragon for Karmine Corp, and they've already got multiple members on that Baron.
Yeah, they got so much DPS for this. A lot of tanks you can just withstand the damage. This is going to be a Baron pickup, and really that came down to the fact that K-Corp were the first to pull the trigger. Adam jumped straight onto Rafitta, and realistically as an Ezreal, there's not very much you can do when you've been ulted by the Camille. The follow-up is there, the Ezreal goes down, and you compare that to how xMatty was essentially just untouched in that fight. So it's initially here, UCAM just too slow on the punch. The ult comes in, the Ezreal is basically dead at this point. It's just kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. He goes down, and xMatty just consistently untouched, flashes away there from the ult from Hadess, and just able to free hit. The momentum so far in favor of K-Corp, and they're just able to clean up. And again, they pulled the trigger first, they took out the enemy AD carry, really made it hard for UCAM to come back in that fight.
That's now the Baron onto KC. They can look to try and crack open this mid lane tier 1. That's kind of given UCAM a area of safety to play around. It's a big gold lead over to KC as well, as Plasma's trying to contest the crab. Not really going to be able to do too much about that, as it's just a lot of people that are speeding in towards Matty, but there's still a backup available. Hadess is doing a lot of damage, but Matty's just sustaining through it all as he finds himself the kill onto Hadess. Now the rest of the fight is breaking out as Dreedy's locked down. The gold card connects. Rafitta has to jump away. The flashes follow. Cinkrof is coming in. They've got the destiny. They've got the gold card. Baca's locked down. He's exhausted. He's low, but the Kingslayer heal keeps him alive. Rafitta jumps forward, and here comes Targamas. Will give it the taunt. Rafitta's low, and Matty secures the kill. KC once again ripping through members as Matty is executed by the tower.
The missed execution once more. UCAM trying to get on top of Matty, but unable to do so. It ends up being just Hadess, and Hadess does not have the damage to cut through him. Matty just kills him 1v1, and then they're able to start finding momentum in the fight and cleaning up. Going pretty deep there. Matty actually get an execute from the tower in the end, but they are just wiping the floor at this point with UCAM. 10,000 gold lead at this point.
The undefeated first seed from the Superliga in Spain might be looking to drop their first game of the tournament versus Karmine Corp. As we have a look at this, they just committed so hard onto Matty, and he just doesn't go down.
But it's all Targamas. That taunt he was channeling in the middle of the fight meant no one could follow up. Plasma wanted to be there, but Targamas provided so much zone control that it was only Hadess who could make it a Matty, and as a result, the follow-up wasn't there. Matty survives, the fight goes heavily in their favor, so gotta give huge credit to the Galio in this fight for making that one work.
I can't believe Matty got away with that as well, getting executed. Just rubbing salt in the wound, if anything. His teleports are actually getting used towards the bottom side. KCR looking to try and push as hard as possible into this tower, but I'm not entirely sure why Saken teleported down there, but didn't really see it. As Adam actually is jumping in onto Plasma, but just threatening.
Applying the pressure though with those Baron buffs. You can see once more Hadess is actually looking for a
Oh
flank
my
here.
lord! And does a lot of damage as the rocket will hit onto a couple of members, and they are just getting a little bit of extra poke damage into Dreedy, but it's going to be all she wrote on that one. Matty, remember, no summoner spells as the Destiny's getting used. Saken gonna go for the stopwatch. He's gonna get the rest of his team to keep him here as well, and that was a little scary by Saken, but did just bait out a little bit.
Baits out the ultimate from Hadess. Zonya's to survive and then just able to disengage. Jesse burns a lot in that situation, but so did UCAM there. All for nothing.
Plasma's jumping in, looking for the great taunt there by Targamas, though. Matty low, but he's got himself a GA, and he's just free-firing off. Baca is going to get zapped out of Zonya's, and Matty secures the kill. The Galio wants the safety, as that is going to be Adam getting a kill on to Hadess. Only 3 members of UCAM survive. They have got the health fast to work with, but KC have the minion waves. They have a free hit onto the base, and now Adam is just zoning Rafitta and Dreedy away. The first tower is going to go down. They get themselves a stun off into Plasma. The Nexus has been left bare. KC's health fast are low, but Dreedy can't do the damage, and everybody on the side of UCAM is just going low. 28 minutes on the clock, make it 29 as KC get the first win of this series.
Just textbook from them, in all honesty, and some concerns coming into it for UCAM. I mean, you saw the amount of momentum K-Corp put towards the top side. They had that early pressure. They had the Roman potential. They got Adam ahead critically. On the other side of the map, we didn't really see too much from UCAM in terms of applying pressure to the bot lane. Having an Ezreal Rakan lane isn't going to lend itself to that situation. Sure, they did manage to get a kill on xMatty, but then the overcommit gets answered back. And it just feels like K-Corp set a pace and UCAM didn't match to it. And
yeah, honestly, really, really good game there from K-Corp. The LFL's first seed find first blood in this series, but it is a best of 3. But for now, we are going to throw it a break, and when we're back, we'll have our analyst test to break that game down a little bit more. See you in a moment.
Welcome back to the EU Masters Semi-Finals as the blue wall is popping off in Game 1, Goldberg, but is this what you expected against them?
I mean, for sure. In a much more dominant fashion as well. You could really tell that UCAM was struggling to keep up with the early pressure that comes out of a, well-oiled machine like the K-Corp.
Yeah, and what made the difference for them when you look at the composition from UCAM's side and K-Corp's side with the globals for K-Corp? I feel like it was much easier for them to play the game.
Of course it is. Like, you get xMatty on the Jinx. He doesn't have to do anything all early game. As soon as we hit that late game, he's going to be online. What you do meanwhile is that you're just taking a look onto the top side of the map instead. And you can clearly see the first fight is already coming up here. What's really cool about this is the fact that xMatty has already moved down towards the mid lane while this is happening at the same time. So you can see while they move up with Targamas here and with Adam here, of course, you can see the TwistedFate will join. But yes, they get the first blood. Anyone should be able to do that with this global composition. Crucially, they're not losing any CS whatsoever. xMatty is picking up the mid lane, and in the bot side, you'll see in a bit that Baca would be TPing down there. So it's the fact that when K-Corp are executing on these early plays that we see them execute on, they don't lose anything on the map. They're not getting cross-map. They just get all the resources for themselves.
We'll get to break down this play a bit later, but what could UCAM have done to make it easier? I feel like they had some strong tools, though, to win the game, but what fell short?
I mean, it's the fact that they were kept down throughout the entirety of the game. You could see they really wanted to play the map as well. That's why they picked the Ezreal, got Plasma, his comfort pick, on the Rakan way, could roam around on the map. But they never got to be first in the play. They were always shoved in. Sylas is usually a nice pick into TwistedFate, because you can always match the ultimate. But he was always pushed in. He never had the chance to actually get in there. We saw them do some nice skirmishes with the Galio ultimate as well. But in the end, those cooldowns were just too long to keep up with the pressure that K-Corp were pulling out.
You know what? Let's join Trouble at the desk here, because there's one player that I would like to highlight. You see him in the wall right there. It's Adam, the man on the top lane, playing Camille this game, popping off on this champion. I feel like he was the player of the game here, but he also has some good tools provided by his team.
You know what's really incredibly surprising about this guy is that he runs away with an 8, 1, and 10 KDA, whilst his main focus was keeping xMatty alive the entire game. So you get this madman ahead, and then obviously your opponents can play because Camille is ultra overpowered when she's ahead. But then later on, you have a composition from UCAM that is so hard to execute with the Aatrox, having to find a flank, the Sylas, having to find a flank to reach the Jinx in the back line. And Adam made sure that that Aatrox could not click a single button onto xMatty. Dreedy must have been like, okay, I've had enough with this game. I've been locked in a Camille ult this entire time. Let's just go next.
Yeah, and I want to take it back to what you talked about. Like, he kept xMatty peeled. And that's the thing about K-Corp. There is like this stigma that it's only top side of the map team. It's not. It's really not. It's the top side of the map you'll see do all the work in the early game. But as soon as you hit that mid to late game, you saw xMatty in those team fights. Every time his flash was up, he was ready to kite back, flash the abilities, get the reset with Jinx, and just get in there. This man is not even afraid to start 1v1ing the Hecarim in the middle of a team fight. Like, there is so much stuff that this team did well throughout this first semi-final game here, and I think they highlighted so well what we have been talking about, why K-Corp was so good.
Yeah, and they have a lot of power within the team. I mean, it's not only one player that can carry, although when you look at the bans here from the first game,
maybe it is one man that can carry.
Yeah, it feels like Adam got a lot of attention here with the Renekton ban, the Olaf, which can be a flex for K-Corp, and also the Darius that we know. What can we expect from the UCAM side when it comes to bans? Because you know that you have to ban Ryze against Saken, you have to ban Seraphine as well. What is expected here?
Yeah, I think we know Baca plays the Syndra. Like, put that matchup into the Ryze and try to keep him down in lane instead. Like, the Darius is a good ban if you know you're going to be picking a tank, but if you're not, then leave it open. Like, fight them on the top side of the map as well. I don't say take a weak side for Dreedy. I say keep the aggression up, because this is what UCAM has been doing. This has been their winning recipe. And then get the Jinx away from xMatty. This was a pivotal champion in the series against Sobov, and if you just let him scale for free, well, he just comes to a point in the mid to late game, it's not going to matter what happened in the top side, because you're going to be having an AD carry that's just going to be wrecking havoc on the front line and the back line.
Honestly, if UCAM want to run back the same composition with the 4 melees and the 1 AD, I would suggest Darius gets insta-ban. The reason that Darius has made sort of an instant up on the whole league is the fact that so many melee champions are in the league right now. So many teams are playing the melee composition. So easy for Darius to grab the first champion, stack up, and then run into the backline and ulti the ADC. So I really like the triple ban for Adam here because you say the Olaf is a flex. I'll say it's a flex towards jungle. So it's like an Adam champion that, yes, maybe his jungler can play too. I really like that. They know who the carrier for the team is. And yes, even though he got fed and then he facilitated for xMatty, it was him, start to finish, that didn't allow for any hiccups throughout the entire game.
And when you look at the side of UCAM, I remember from the quarterfinals, rather, that they felt more comfortable in the sense that you can see in draft that they were trying more things, and even in game they were more creative. Can we expect something like this coming from them?
This is what I think is going to be really interesting, because this is UCAM's first loss at the entire tournament. They haven't lost yet, so we don't know how they bounce back from a loss like this. This is a best of 3. Obviously, there's going to be room for adaptation. So that's what I'm curious about, because I want to see what that adaptation is. I'm hoping that we can see them pressure Adam, and we can see them get Hadess on comfort as well, so it's not only Cinkrof just running around with the entire map in the early game. Fight them back, what you have been doing well.
We were mentioning also during the before the series, rather, than UCAM are also composed of inexperienced players in a way. A lot of rookies, as you mentioned, they just lost their first game. It's a best of 3 here. Which player within the lineup can you expect to carry and, I don't know, bring in a good atmosphere within the team to just turn it around in game 2?
Honestly, it would have to be the man in the bot lane. We always talk about the solo lanes, how it's top side of the map heavy, and I will agree, fine. Dreedy is a big carry for them. They have they have Baca as well in the mid lane always, but Rafitta always comes up on top. He will find that damage. He will be left alone in the bot lane, and with Plasma next to him, they can make the difference in the bot lane, take the 2v2, get onto Targamas and xMatty, and try to translate that pressure from bot into Dragons, because even if Dreedy suffers, and he will suffer, this is the taking here, that Adam has so many aces up his sleeve that Dreedy will unfortunately suffer. So translate that into bot lane pressure, and then you can free one side of your map. Yeah,
like, for example, if you don't want to be banning the Jinx, just start contesting
Steal
it. Like, there's still a lot of plays. We've seen Plasma be really good as a support. We've seen him on the Thresh. We've seen him on the Rakan, although it didn't have the biggest success in this first game. Like, there are still a lot of tools where you can have an engaged support that's going to make really nice composition up with a carry AD carry. So I'm hoping to see them strike back here in a more convincing fashion, because Corp in this first semi-final games, they're living up to their reputation.
Exactly. Let's see if UCAM can turn it around in game 2. But for now, Corp kicks things off with a bang, and now only one win stands between them and a spot in the EU Masters Springs final. We'll be back for game 2 right after this.